Hey Margarita, how you doing? Okay, let's see what we have here. I think you're looking fantastic. Thank you so much for including this. This really describes things perfectly, and it shows me you're paying attention and you're on top here of this process. And you're understanding the process and the methodology of building letter forms based on what's already there. So I think you've got a wonderful degree of consistency here. I think it's fantastic. There's a couple of areas though I would recommend that we revisit. Um, these strokes on the E and the F are really thin through here. So if we take a look at that vertical stem of the E and the F, and we compare it to the vertical stems of Actually, the more I look at this, the more I'm seeing a pretty good degree of consistency. Actually, boy, this is tough. It could be a PDF rendering, but what I'm getting at is these vertical stems right here. The stroke weight is really, really thin in the E and the F. Although they could possibly be the same stroke here. It could be an illusion, as I said. Just check for consistency in the stroke weights of those vertical stems. Um, and also in some of your counters, I'm sorry, in some of your bowls of your curved letters, for example, the right side of the O looks really, really thin. Now I understand you have varying stroke. I think that was your intent, but the right side I think is a little too thin. Same thing with the Q. Um, I think this could be a little beefier too. This gives you really a chance to do some really interesting things with that Q. So I would recommend maybe thinking about that relationship right there. I'm wondering if we can't try to borrow a portion of a different letter form to try to take some of those attributes for that portion of the Q right there. I think it's a little thin right here. And if we zoom out, we can see that that doesn't really stand up at a distance as well as it should. It almost disappears. So I would think about that as well. Other than that, I think you're looking really, really fantastic. This curve in the X right here, I think that could be straightened out a little bit. That's a little unnerving right there. It seems to be a little inconsistent from some of your other um, verticals. I'm sorry, some of your other diagonals. Hard to tell though. We can definitely see it when we compare the X to the Z, where that Z, that diagonal Z comes straight down, whereas this one and the X is a little bit bowed. So I would try to straighten that out a little bit. Other than that, this is spot on. Very, very, very good work. Um, at this point, of course, you're just going to move forward and start developing your lowercase letters as well as your character sets and punctuation. So really, really good job. Very, very impressive. Nice work. Very consistent. Your attention to detail is really impeccable, and your attention to craft is also, again, very impressive. So great job. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, Maggie.